Alrighty, let's continue on with the prospect pool overviews. We got the New Jersey Devils this time around. The Devils prospect pool is not that strong, but it's not surprising when you're a team that is as good as the Devils are. So let's just hop right in. Let's start off with an interesting prospect. This guy has been in the Devils system for 6 years and has been going through the KHL. You may not even argue he's a prospect anymore. And you know what? Maybe you're right. You have Arseny Griciuk here, who is going to play NHL games next season, but he is the top prospect for the New Jersey Devils, in my honest opinion. He was born in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. He's 6 foot, 194 pounds. He was drafted 129th overall in 2019. Keep in mind, that was the same draft as Jack Hughes. Yeah, so that's how long ago this guy was drafted. 6 years ago at this point. He played 49 games with St. Petersburg this past year, had 44 points. He just wrapped up the 5th KHL season of his career, a very consistent KHL career at that. As you can tell, he's gotten better as the years have progressed along. He won a championship his first year with Avangard Omsk as well, so that's obviously very notable too. He was the KHL Rookie of the Year in 2021-22, and he will be an NHLer next season. That has been confirmed. He signed an NHL contract with the Devils just for this season. So we're going to see what Griciuk can bring. If he comes in and does very good, then hey, there you go. But he's been somebody who's been in the Devils system for a long time now. He has the rights, or the Devils have had his rights for the last few years, and now he's finally been signed to a contract. Now, it's kind of controversial because this guy's literally 24 years old. You may say, Nordic, he's not a prospect anymore, and you can kind of figure that out the way you want to. But for me, he was drafted by the Devils. He hasn't played any NHL games. We didn't say the same thing about Kirill Kaprizov when he was a prospect for Minnesota for all those years. So, to be honest with you, I don't see anything wrong with it. Preliminary thoughts down below. Maybe you have more of an opinion than me, but Griciuk has a lot of upside moving forward in the future. Next up then on the list, we have Lenny Maniho. So this is a guy who is very interesting. He was born in Kajaani, Finland, 6'1", 185 pounds. He was drafted 58th overall in 2023. He is also a right wing like Griciuk. He played 58 games this past year in the Liga with Azak and had 20 goals for 51 points. He's got good ability to score, good puck handling as well. That's one thing that is very notable with him. He's got good puck handling skills. I believe he's going to play another year in Liga. I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe he is. He is under contract, though, so it's possible that he is coming over next season, but I'm not 100% sure what they want to do. But overall, as you can tell, this guy's numbers have gotten better every single year. He had 51 points this year, 31 points the year before, so his numbers are increasing and they are getting better, and that shows with this kid. Again, he's 20 years old as well. I think kind of people forget that. He's only 20, so he's pretty young, and he's putting up those numbers in Liga, which is the top league in Finland. I think that's very impressive. So we'll see what happens with Haminaho there for a little bit. It's kind of hard to say his name. But definitely an interesting prospect, and we could see him in the NHL soon. Next up then, one of the Devils picks in this past year's draft, Conrad Phaneuf, who was a 50th overall pick, a second round pick in 2025. He's born in St. Paul, Minnesota, 6 foot, 203 pounds. He is a center. He played with the U.S. national team this year, putting up a combined amount of 55 games played, had 19 goals, 20 assists for 39 points. Solid numbers there with the U.S. national team. He's got some good flashes, and he's got really good two-way play. We saw some of that a little bit in the U.S. National Development Program. I imagine this guy's likely going to go to college. I don't know exactly where in college, but I would imagine he is going to college. I don't have that info off the top of my head. I apologize. It's not on my notes here either, but Ferk has some upside for sure. I think that should not go unnoticed, and I think that fans should definitely look forward to him in the future. He's just going to take some time, definitely, but he was a second-round pick. There's definitely optimism there for sure. Next up then, we have Anton Silayev, who was the 10th overall pick in last year's draft. He was born in Sarov, Russia. He's 6'7", 207 pounds. He's a left shot defenseman. This past year, in his second full year with the Torpedo, had 2 goals, 10 assists for 12 points. Mobility is definitely his best asset. That's the biggest thing with Silyev. He's got that defensive mobility. And with you being that big, especially as a defenseman, it makes you a hard hitter, first and foremost. There's no doubt about that. But this guy definitely does have the skill to make the NHL for sure. He's just kind of guy on the back end who logs up minutes, can play solid defense, and can score every now and then. Again, he only has 5 goals in his KHL career. Only 7 in the last 3 years he's played hockey. So again, it's a rarity when he scores goals, but this guy is known for his defensive play. So that should not be a surprise to anybody there whatsoever. What I do know, though, is that Silyev is under contract until 2025-26. So if you're hoping for seeing this guy in the NHL next season, it's not impossible, but it's definitely unlikely as of right now. If you're going to see him in the NHL, it's going to be at the end of 2025-26. But otherwise, I don't think you're going to see this guy in the NHL next season. I think you may see him the following year, or at least in North America the following year. But I guess we'll see. Who knows if Utica makes the playoffs or if New Jersey makes the playoffs. I think we could see Silyev up with the big club, potentially. Up next, then, on the docket, Seamus Casey played NHL games this past year for the Devils and made a pretty good impression. He was born in Miami, Florida, 5'10", 181 pounds. He was drafted 46th overall in 2022. He's a right shot defenseman, so that's very notable. He played 30 games with Utica this past year, had 18 points, but he did play 14 games with the Devils, including 1 playoff game as well. He has a good, complete game. The size is the biggest problem with him, though. But I watched him during, I believe, the Global Series against Buffalo because the Devils had defensive issues, or not defensive issues, injury issues. Well, they probably did. They had injury problems heading into the season. And Seamus Casey got a shot. He got a chance to play with the team. And I think, honestly, he looked good. Like, I really didn't think he was that bad whatsoever. So there's definitely that. His draft pick rights were traded a couple times. But there's definitely just some positives to look out there. This guy has proven that he can play in the NHL at 21 years old. So there's a lot of optimism there for me with him. Again, the size is a problem. 5'10" as a defenseman, that's just like wild to me. But he went in there, scored 8 points in 14 games. Again, you're obviously going to put guys like Pesce and them over him. But even still, that's a pretty good impression for a young kid in Casey. So I got nothing but good things to say about this guy. I'm very high on the defensive prospects for the Devils, and I think that Casey is definitely a guy we could see in the NHL more next year, and I'm hoping he's not on this list, to be honest. And wrapping up with the goaltending prospect, Mikhail Yegorov. We actually streamed him this year in the Watch of Nordic live stream, so I do want to say that. That's kind of fun. But anyhow, this guy put up great numbers in Boston University. He was born in St. Petersburg, Russia. He's 6'5", 181 pounds. He was drafted 49th overall last year. This is a guy that could be a real sleeper for New Jersey because he split time this year between the Omaha Lancers and Boston University. Played 19 games with Omaha, put up a .912. By the way, that team was 3-12. So that's very notable that he put up a .912 when the team was 3-12 when he played. That's kind of wild. But he split time with the USHL and NCAA. He put up a .927, 11-6-1 record with Boston University. We saw him in the Watch of Nordic stream against Penn State. He played great. This is a guy who I think the Devils honestly got a steal here. This is a guy who I think is still a ways away. Like, he probably spends another year or two in college. But who knows? Like, again, just seeing how he played in Boston University and on a really bad Omaha team is impressive. It is very impressive. So I just want to say that. That is pretty impressive to see. And again, just like the numbers don't lie. Those are great numbers for a goaltender. So I'm very optimistic for Yegorov. This guy could be a kid who makes it to the NHL and becomes the Devils' next best goaltender. You see Jacob Markstrom, like, he's at the end of his contract. He's getting up there in age. I think Yegorov might be the replacement for the Devils once he goes down. It's not impossible there. So we'll see. But again, I'm very high on Mikhail Yegorov. Looking at some of the other prospects in the pool for the Devils, Ben Kevin was in the USHL this past year, put up 43 points, 51 games played with the Des Moines Buccaneers. Good numbers there for him. Again, he was a draft pick in this past year. Jacob Malik has been in the Devils system for 4 years now. He has been over in the Liga, putting up some great numbers there. He played 33 games with Ilves Tampere, had a .909. Mason Moe, a third-round pick, had 43 points in 51 games played with the Madison Capitals. They picked a lot of USHL guys, I just got to say that. Trenton Bennett, another goaltender here. He split time between the Owen Sound Attack and I think that's Canadian College. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure about that, but put up good solid numbers in both those years as well. And then Gustav Hillstrom spent his first year this past year in the SHL, put up 2 points in 18 games played. He also had 38 points in 43 games played for the junior team. He was a 4th-round pick this past year. Wrapping it up then with the prospect rankings, the Devils have a decent pool, I'm not going to lie. I think honestly 1 to 5 is NHLers. I think the rest are going to take a little bit more to be that. But honestly, I like their pool. I'm a big fan of their pool. I think Grzyuk is at number 1. You can say what you want to think about him. Silyev's number 2. The defensive play is just phenomenal. Yegorov at 3. I'm very high on him. Casey, my biggest worry is just his size, although he has proven that he can play in the NHL. I hope he's not on this list next year. Not because I don't like him, but I actually really do like him. I thought he played good this year. Minaho as well, number 5. Fundrick at 6. Malik at 7. Kevin at 8. Bennett at 9. And then Mo rounds out the top 10 for the Devils prospect rankings. That'll do it for this Devils video. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video down below. Please do consider subscribing. We got a good one next week, or next video, not next week, with the New York Islanders. That's probably tomorrow or even later today. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.